Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys have enjoyed my content thus far, and if you have, please remember to hit that subscribe button. In today's video, I'm going to mainly be directed towards CWs and apprentices just starting in the trade. If you have no clue about hand tools, you don't know what you're going to need, you don't know what you're going to buy, this is for you. I understand a lot of you have never swung a hammer. It's cool. Don't worry about it. That's why I'm here to show you guys. So the first tool that you guys will need is the side cutters. Now, you might ask yourself, what do I need those for? Okay, I'll show you. Cut wire like nothing. You can probably cut 7 of those, no problem. These are really good to have. They are the most popular and probably the most expensive ones on the market. These are Klein Tools, manufacturer for hand tools. Now, a lot of other guys use these for a hammer, and if you need to use them for a hammer because you forgot your hammer or whatever, and you need to scoot some unistrut straps over when you're high up or whatever, use this area right here that I'm pointing at. Just be careful of this part right here. See how it slides? Stay away from that. Now, why you don't want to use it with this or this surface, because if you hit it with these, you can damage the cutter. That is the most essential part of the tool. Very important part. Don't abuse it. Now, if you hit it with this side, where the hinge is that actually connects the pliers together, then you might make a little bit of a mark right on the hinge. Leave an indentation. If you do that, you're going to find your tool doing this. It's struggling to open because you're fighting metal on metal. Don't do that. I've done it before. I stopped doing it, and I wasted some money because I didn't know any better. But I'm trying to teach you guys better to save you frustration, time, and money. So take good care of these tools. If you can't afford them right now, no problem. They sell little apprentice kits that you can probably buy them for 30, maybe 35 bucks or so. If you want to buy them singly, no problem. So get this right when you're starting. Please get them right when you're starting, because they will expect you to have these. Very important. Next tool I'm going to show you guys is the wire stripper. Very important tool to keep on you. You will need it. Probably as much as the side cutters. No, these are Greenlee, stainless steel. They'll last you a while. The cutter will stay really sharp for a while. This is probably 8 years old. Yeah, it's been a while. I love these things. They're my favorite. You can get a Klein if you want, but I would recommend these ones. I don't particularly like the Klein strippers. So, yeah. What are they for? Strip wire with these. Now, when you're using these, make sure you pay attention of which notch to use to strip wire. They're solid, and then they're stranded. Pay attention. You do not want to score the wire. The copper wire inside the insulation, you don't want to do that. Might cause issues later on. Do your best not to. So, get it? Boom. Very simple. Notice how I'm putting it at an angle when I'm stripping it, and then I'm using my thumb to push off. I'll do it one more time so you guys can see it clearly. See? Pretty simple, huh? Pretty much main purpose for them. But this is a multi-function wire stripper. Another cool function of this is this particular little hole will make hooks on your wire. So you can terminate on the terminal screw on a receptacle. Remember, gold is hot. Boom. And then you just tighten with the screwdriver and you're done. Another cool function that this has is sometimes these need to be shortened, especially when you're in commercial establishments. Sometimes the drywall is not straight or they didn't install these little babies in right, so you have to adjust them a little bit because they're not flush with the wall for whatever reason. That's what these holes are for. This one hole in particular, see how it screws in the hole? Pokes out there, and then you cut it. Boom, gone. Shorter. So then what you can do, a lot of times you can't get it out with your finger, but this time it actually did work. How about that? Back it off, and there you go. And it deblurs it whenever you're backing it out. So then it's cool for it to go right back in, no problem, or on your receptacle device. So yeah, that's its main purpose. Now, I don't have any fork crimp-ons for this function here, but that is what that is for. Get the little crimps, you put it on number 12 or whatever size wire you have, and you put all your weight in it and crimp it so you can put it in that terminal. But you'll see those later on in the field. So these are the strippers. They'll run you at $25 and they're not that expensive. Very useful tool. Please get one along with the side cutters. They're very important. They will expect you to have them. Any wire strippers will do for now, but I recommend these. Next tool I'm going to show you guys is the needle nose pliers. Multifunctional. These can strip wire, they can cut wire, but their main purpose is, let's say you have a messed up looking box like this. Well, notice that little copper little wire in that little connector? Well, I can't reach it with my fingers. I can't get it in. You'll find yourselves in situations like these. So, what you do? Let's help it get out of here. Boom. That is its main purpose. They're a very useful tool. I would say they're kind of gray area where they're required because I don't use these too often, but there will be situations where that will happen. So please get yourself some. These are Klein, but you don't need to buy the very expensive $40 ones. Yeah, these ones are really pricey. Get yourself some $20, $25 ones, and that should be more than adequate for you guys. But yeah, I would just get these just to be on the safe side. You never know. So that's another tool which is more required than not. So please pick yourself up a pair. Okay guys, now I'm going to show you next the diagonal cutters. Now, what are they for? Cutting wire with ease. Most people will use them for cutting big and small tie wraps. It makes it a hell of a lot easier than using your side cutters. Now, these run you about 40 bucks. They are not cheap, but you can get yourself a pair for probably $25 or $30. And you can get them the exact brand, but they're not the high leverage. Now, these are really useful when you're working in gear and panels. And also, if you have to tie cable up high or get them aside along the wall, you're probably going to have to use tie wraps because electrical tape may not cut it. So, that's what these are for. Very simple. They're important. They are a requirement. Get them on day one, please, because you're going to find yourself cutting tie wire, tie wraps, wire, everything of them, especially if you're doing duct bank or underground. You're going to use these for rebar, for any mistakes that you made tying the wrong conduit somewhere, or maybe it's not tight enough. You're going to frequently use these to bust it free. So please get one. Next tool I'm going to show you guys, all safety personnel hate. Razor knife. A lot of electricians love these things. They're sharp. You can switch out blades, no problem. This one in particular is cobalt. Probably get them for $20, $25 tops. Very nice tool to have. Every electrician will probably have one. Now, only thing about these is they are extremely sharp. They can cut like nothing. Everybody knows a razor blade is or anything. They are really dangerous. Now, a lot of guys injure themselves all the time with these things. Whether they're cutting carelessly like this, cutting a piece of wire like this, and then, oh, that's it. It goes really deep. You don't want to do that. Because when you're under that kind of pressure from something, and you come down on your arm, your hand, or wherever, then you're in big trouble, most likely. A lot of guys cut a piece of wire like this, hold it like this, and then whoosh, whoop, laceration. First aid. Now, if they go deep enough and it's bad enough, they're going to get a recordable. And nobody hates recordables more than safety and the electrical contractor, and especially the insurance. That's what it's all about. If you get any injury on the job site, the insurance, everybody is going to know about it. And guess whose name is going to be right next to it? Yours. Because you're the one that is causing the liability and the cost ineffectiveness. You don't want to be that guy. Because then, guess what? When you get hurt because of something like this, you are going to pretty much cause a giant safety stand down, and then we're all going to have to be lectured on how we need to be more safe with knives and such and such and such. We have heard this for many years. And honestly, a lot of us electricians, we don't want to hear about it anymore, because the ones giving us the lecture, they're not even electricians. They've never even probably picked up a hand tool before. And that's why most electricians do not like safety, because they haven't been there and done that. All they see are the injuries, and they're always walking around to make sure that we're all being safe. But in all honesty, they're just looking for things to stop liabilities. That's what they're there for. That's their main purpose. So, I would recommend if you are a CW or an apprentice just starting out, please get yourself a regular pocket knife. That way, if you happen to make a mistake and such like that, no problem. We're all human, you're inexperienced, and there's not enough journeymen to train you out there. I'm telling the truth. There isn't enough. Because our field is so behind and we need so many electricians because we have more electricians retiring than coming in. That's just reality. A lot more retiring. So, please be very careful with these. Be responsible with them. A lot of times you're going to find yourself in a lot of heat stress, stressful types of situation where you got to do something real quick, Calm down. Take a second. It's that kind of split second that makes you cut yourself, and then all of a sudden, oh, what do I do? What do I do? I'll tell you what you can do if you ever find yourself in that situation. If you know your cut is not that bad and it's not that deep where you can attend to it by yourself. Now, I'm not telling you guys to do this. This is entirely up to you. Find yourself a wire pulling crew. In other words, get a rag, a cloth, cotton rag. Put it around wherever you cut yourself. Most guys are going to cut themselves on the index finger, middle finger, or the thumb. That's majority. But wherever the area is, hopefully you cut it right here, easy peasy fix. And then electrical tape is your friend. But this time, you're going to use it as adhesive Band-Aid. No problem. Wherever you cut yourself, that's what the rag is for. And the beauty of this, oh, and by the way, be careful, don't do this too tight. You don't want to cut your blood circulation off. Give it a little twist. Boom. Nearly the same thing they would do when you're in first aid. But no documentation required with this, and you're not on their radar. So screw them. If you can help it, don't get their help. Of course, you can still get infected, but it all depends on what you got cut with. You get cut with the knife, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to get an infection. Get yourself some hydrogen peroxide. When you get home, pour it on there. Get some Neosporin. Put a real Band-Aid on there. You're good. They never have to know if it's not bad enough and you don't want them to. They don't have to. So, if you cut yourself with or without your glove on, they don't got to know. What you do is, if you cut yourself and you weren't wearing your glove, definitely, you're going to probably get in trouble, even fired. But if you have your glove on, and your glove gets damaged or whatever, and it was bleeding, throw it away, get another glove, kind of do it discreetly, get another glove, put it right on, and guess what? Still flexible, safety will never know you did it. Let your body heal like it normally does, and you're all good. I get it. We all make mistakes. No problem. They happen. We're human. You guys are inexperienced. It's cool. Just try your best not to cut yourself, please. And just go forward from there. Next tool I'm going to show you guys is the level. You're going to use this very often. Get stuff level as best as you can. But for us, get it level. because we're professionals. This one's cool because it lights up in poor lighting conditions, which we frequently will get out there because there's a lot of temporary lighting, which is not that great if you're working on the ground. All the temporary lighting is up above us, probably at least 10 feet above our heads. It does us no good everywhere in a dark room. So, get yourself one of these. You can get one for probably less than 20 bucks. You can get a little cheap one for now, and it will probably do you just fine. Just make sure it's level, because it'll save you work if you have a good level. If you get a little cheap $10 one, it's probably not going to do you any justice. So get yourself a decent level. Spend at least $20 for it. Please. It's going to save you a lot of trouble. You're going to use this often. It's important. You need it, and it is also required. Have a level when you get on that site the first week, please. Next tool I'm going to show you guys is the adjustable pliers. Everybody will call them channel locks though. Channel locks is the manufacturer who makes these tools. Everybody knows them by the dipped grip, sky blue. Now, a lot of people use these for a wrench. If they don't have the proper wrench in hand, everybody always carries these just like a pair of side cutters. Now, but their proper use is to tighten connectors or any of the sort. And this one is not quite going down right. So if that happens, what do? Oh man, I guess that means you're just gonna have to buy the pair. That's why you need to buy 2 channel locks, is because sometimes you need a backup. A backup, like so. Good. That's why you need 2 of them. Because a lot of times it happens where you're trying to tighten a coupling, a connector in a box, you need to have a backup. These things will probably run you about maybe $25 a piece or so. I haven't bought some of these in a while. As you can see, I've had them for a while. So go to your local Home Depot or Lowe's. I'm pretty sure both of them have them, but they are a requirement. You need these. Tool list. I promise you, you're going to use them probably as much as side cutters. So please get them the first week you're on the job. Next tool I'm going to show you guys is the most important tool on the job site, in my opinion. The tape measure. Every electrician will have one. This is probably more important than having the side cutters. We have to frequently take measurements out there. Now, this is a Fatmax, Stanley Fatmax, 25-footer. Please get the 25-footer. Do not get the 30-footer. You do not need that extra 5 feet. Sometimes it's nice to have, but it is rare. So, 25, don't get 16 foot either. It is not adequate. A lot of times you're on a scissor lift, and guess what? You're gonna be shortchanged by that extra 9 feet. So, go with the 25. It will be very useful. These things are a little bit on the heavy side, but you know what? Most tools are heavy. So, if you're not good at reading a tape measure as a C-dub or an apprentice, please start learning. if you're in this trade, you're gonna have to learn how to read a tape measure. Promise you. If you have to, Google it. And then it'll give you a little reading right here, and it'll explain every little mark on here, how to read it. Or you can also get yourself a cobalt tape measure, and they have the little marks labeled on the 1/8 and the 1/4. I believe that's how it was. When I first started, I got one, and then within a couple of weeks, I stopped using it because eventually people are going to hand you their tape measure since you don't have yours available. And then guess what? You're going to be having their tape measure and being like, oh man, I don't know. Yeah, you don't want to do that, man. You don't want to do that. Just learn. It's all memory work and consistent using it. So it takes time. Don't expect you to learn it the first week, but learn it as quickly as possible. It's only going to benefit you. So get these, and the cool thing about this particular one is it has 2 modes. Standout mode, which is that little red tablet, stands out. It doesn't go in until you push this button. And that's it. Then another mode is freestyle mode. It'll always come out. That's the cool function about these. I love the standout mode, especially when you're doing a quick measurement and you only have one hand. Very useful. And try to take good care of these screws right here that holds the clip, because I can't tell you how frequently these will wear out after a while. These little bitty screws, they do so much abuse taking them on and off your side pocket or whatever you keep it. And if you get tired of these wearing out, then guess what? Get yourself tape measure holders of all kinds, if you want. This is an optional accessory, but these ones, yeah, they're expensive. These are like $70. I shit you not, they're expensive. But it keeps the screw on here so it doesn't wear out, and then guess what? You can't latch it on your side pocket. So please, again, learn how to use it. You will make your foreman, you will make your journeyman very happy if you know how to read it, because it's just less work on us. Because it's kind of embarrassing that your journeyman has to verify your measurements. We shouldn't have to really do that. As an apprentice and such, especially if you're learning quick, you guys should make yourselves valuable so you guys become a good journeyman. And so you can handle your own. And the best part of it all, nobody is going to be able to tell you what to do if you know what you're doing. That's the big picture of it. You guys are going to get annoyed, people always telling you what to do. If you guys don't want people to tell you what to do, learn yourself so you don't need anybody else, like I have. So, just for your advice, get these, learn it, and practice with it. You will master it eventually. Next tool on the list is a flathead screwdriver. This one in particular is a demolition screwdriver, which I really recommend because this is very useful. Why? You can beat little knockouts out of 411 boxes or beyond. You can tighten lock nuts if your channel locks are not working for you very well, or if you're in a tight space where you cannot use channel locks at all. This is very useful. You probably get them for maybe 20 bucks or so. Of course, this is a Klein. Most Klein tools are going to have this yellow middle area, and then of course the black handle, rubberized handle. So they're very useful. Get one, get yourself a $10 one for now. And if you get tired of that one, upgrade to these. These have a lot more leverage on them, a lot more torque, because the grip is far better. So please get one your first week. These are required. Next very useful tool that I recommend you get first week is the Phillips screwdriver. I recommend you go the little extra length and get the longer ones. They have standard ones, but the longer one I find more useful, especially in reaching in equipment and in boxes. So that way, when you're turning them, you're not going to hit your hand while you're trying to get it and you hit your knuckles on these boxes, because it just seems like the boxes now are getting deeper and it's going to get more uncomfortable for you to install. Sometimes these things have trouble fitting, but for now, these work very well. That's identification number on there so you know which one it is. They sell them at Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever they do, or you can get one on Amazon. These ones are probably less than $20. They're not that bad at all. So the Klein's, of course. So get it, it's required. I'll show you another interesting tool. Every electrician probably has one. The 11N1. This one in particular is magnetic. Now, what's so great about these? Has a lot of different bits and nut driver combinations. Got 3/8. Those are quarter nut drivers. You flip it around. It's got even more. It's got the stars. And then, of course, the smaller Phillips and flatheads. One cool thing I like about it, you could even tighten grounding screws on your 4x4 boxes. Very useful. And these ones in particular are probably going to cost you over 20 bucks. You can get the cheaper ones that are not magnetic, and they're going to be a lot cheaper. But magnetic ones, they're pretty hard to pass up. But most guys are going to have these, especially in like commercial establishments. They're useful so you don't have to carry around a lot of different screwdrivers. Sometimes you need the real screwdrivers, the hardened tips, like the last one I just showed you. Those are hardened tips. Those are awesome, because with these, unfortunately, after a while, these tips will give out. After a while, and after missing a screw, you're gonna damage the screw after a while, but then you're also gonna damage this, rendering it useless. The hardened tip ones are going to last you a lot longer than these. And then it'll be harder to install, especially if some of these have a hard time going on. You're gonna find yourself doing this and then wearing off this more and more because it's stripped or whatever. That's why it's better to get the real hardened tip ones. These ones are pretty hardened, but after a while, they're going to wear out, sadly. So get yourself one of these. It's generally not required, but these are one of those special tools that it's useful to have. Like I said, you don't have to have it the first week. Get it 2+ months down the line, no problem. Now I'm going to show you guys a really cool tool. The 9-in-1 multi-nut driver. Has many sizes. Has 1/2 inch. Has, I believe that's 1132. Magnetic. Has 1/4 inch. Has 9/16. It has 3/8, 5/16. It has a lot of them. Very useful to keep. Now, only bad part about these, they're expensive. They're probably going to cost you nearly $40. They're awesome to have, but you don't have to get one your first week. These are definitely a specialty. They're a luxury tool. They're great if you don't want to buy the whole set of nut drivers that are all independent sizes. So, if you don't want to carry around all 7 of your nut drivers, get this instead. You will need nut drivers eventually. And if you do, I recommend just getting this one. It's probably cheaper and you'll find more uses out of it than the singles. Singles, they disappear so quick. But so will this one if you don't be careful with it, because everybody is eyeing to steal these. People love them. Take care of it. If you do get one, they are very convenient. Another cool tool I'm going to show you guys. Very useful in the trade. It is called a conduit reamer. This is specifically for 1/2 inch EMT, 3/4 EMT, and 1 inch EMT. Each groove will fit a conduit. And actually, let me demonstrate. This is 1/2 inch EMT, by the way. Notice how, see those sharp edges inside, especially in here? Yeah, looks sharp, doesn't it? Well, when you're trying to pull wire in this, you think it's gonna damage the wire, the insulation if you pull through that? I think so. You don't want to damage this insulation when you're pulling through it. Well, that's where this comes in. Very easy. 1/2 inch notch. You deblur it. And that's it. Look how shiny that looks. Deblur it. No longer sharp. And I'll show you how it is not sharp. Yep, not sharp. Not cutting me. So that is its main purpose. Another cool feature about this is the flathead inside. These are perfect to tighten connectors. Absolutely perfect. What I like is it does not fall out until you pull it out. So it's an awesome tool. Probably gonna run you about 40 bucks. They're not cheap, being Klein and all. But it's better to have these than to have a regular file or to use your channel locks to ream out conduit. It's not really the proper way to do it. Some guys do that so that way they don't have to buy this, or because they don't want to even bother with these. But I'm going to tell you this now. If you want to file conduit the proper way after you cut 1/2 inch through 1 inch EMT, this is the way to go. It's not required to have these, but you might want to think about getting yourself one of these, especially if you're running a lot of conduit, you're cutting a lot of 1/2 inch through 1 inch conduit. you're gonna get these because it's only gonna make your job far easier than the other way around. So just consider these. These next tools you will need eventually. Allen wrench sets from Fat Max. Of course, the lettering already gave out a long time ago. But these you can probably buy for less than 50 bucks for the pair. Who knows, they might have gotten a little bit cheaper. But how can you tell the difference between metric and standard? Numbers right here. Whole numbers or 0.5s, halves. And then of course standard, these go all the way to the nearest 32. So yeah, they're really fine. And the sizing is just so close. They're for terminating devices and panels, you name it. The bigger sizes the company will provide for you, especially when you're landing 350 kc mill and all those huge sizes, they'll give you those. They're gonna have to, because you're not required to have those massive sizes. So, what its main purpose is for is for heads like these. See that? Say if this is dull, I need to change it out. You have to have this tool. Fits in there just like that. Boom. Pull it out. Now, when you're pulling this out and tightening it, see that flat part of the bit? See how it's flat right there? Make sure you put it in the same way, because then the drill will not work too well with you. It'll likely spin and you probably won't even know it. Tighten it good there and it's absolutely fine. These are hole saw aubers, by the way. They're probably the best ones you can get. And while I'm here, I will show you how to install a hole saw with these particular aubers. These are my favorite. Why? I'll show you. And then you lift up in here. See these little holes? Little notches go in, and then this screws right up. And that rubber gasket's gonna help you get it back off after you are done and you need to get the drywall or wood or whatever is your hole sawing. Then, boom. Now, one little error I made in this. Sometimes it happens. Everybody does this sometimes. Is this needs to come a little bit more up. You don't want it to go all the way deep because then you don't want this to be flush with your hole saw. So you pick it back up a little bit, about right there. That should be more than enough. Tighten it. See? So just make sure you're doing that whenever you're installing a new pilot bit on there. Very important tool to have, and you will also use these out there. Promise you, you're going to eventually. But do not buy your own. These are supposed to be provided to you. Don't provide these. I only kept this one because, yeah, tools like these end up in our bag and we get laid off or whatever, the company does not want these back. They're used and abused. This one is still pretty good, so just kept it with me. Now, this tool I'm going to show you guys is the non-contact voltage detector. They are a little pricey. They'll run you close to 50 bucks. But they have a light. They fit in your pocket easily. And they detect voltage up to 1,000 volts. And also, they sense low voltage wires all the way down to 50 volts. So, this is their purpose. Now, that is a known live source. It's a hot receptacle. I know for a fact. It will tell you. You don't have to touch it. You just got to go near it, and it will tell you if it's hot. It's a life-saving tool, especially if you don't want to spend $200 on a real meter or you can't afford one. So, great substitute, easy to carry. This pretty much saved my wife's life. Little story. We were checking voltage in one of these boxes, which we had pulled wire to, and there was another conduit coming on the side. It was used as a temporary box, and it was going to turn into a permanent box. So there was wire in it, joint was made up, and guess what? It was hot. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. All the GF general foreman told me was he had forgotten about it. So that could have been a very big mistake on management, everybody's part. But nobody was hurt. I was smart and experienced enough to say, move aside, let me check it. And then it was hot. Now, my point is, don't always trust what management tells you, and don't trust them that they were putting you in a safe position, because you have to look after yourself. You don't count on them to keep you safe. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, upper management is pretty busy for the most part. They don't have time to do a lot of things, which is their job, because they overwhelm them with everything. Safety, the list goes on. There's too much responsibility on their part. So they will not be able to look after all of your well-being. That's just reality. So buy one of these. If you can't do the meter, you don't have to have one the first week, but consider getting one of these within the first month of you getting out in the field. It's smart to carry one. It is hell of a lot better than having nothing at all and you just guessing. Now, while we're discussing voltage and getting shocked, if you guys ever have to check wire, you don't have one of those, or you're hoping that the end of this is stripped out and it's not hot. Always, when there's any doubt that something's not hot or not, check your wire. Check the wire with this hand. Why? Because this hand is not right close to your heart if it gets you. Now, what do I mean by that? When it shocks you, electricity is going to go, and it is going to go all the way down to your feet because it's looking for ground. The nearest ground, it doesn't care how it gets there. It's going to go there. So, never use your left hand because your left hand is closer to your heart. And if it gets to your heart, it can throw your heart out of rhythm. You definitely don't want that because it can put you in cardiac arrest. Who knows? Maybe it'll do nothing, but don't take the chance. Use this hand and check. When you're working, it's not supposed to be alive, and these are supposed to be pretty accurate, but with all doubt out of the way, make sure this is your confirmation. Is you grab the wire if it's stripped, and if it doesn't get you, then you're good. If it does get you, you don't want it to be with this hand. So that's just a little lesson to you about electricity. It's going to try to find the ground. So, recommended tool. Try your best to get one pretty promptly. Like I said, not required. Now, these are a multimeter. It's a Fluke one. These ones are great. In my opinion, Flukes are the best meters. They are really good. So, how do you use these? Check for voltage, check for amperage, continuity checks. I will show you the proper way to use this. There it is, 122 volts. That's how you know without a shadow of a doubt if something is hot or not. There is no better way to check than with a meter. This is the ultimate safety tool. Now, they are $200. You can probably buy a cheaper meter, but be wary. You get what you pay for. This is only your life, right? You don't want to spend $50 on your life. You want to invest. You can keep this in your tool bag or wait to get one or whatever. It's all up to you. The company will not provide this for you in order to keep in your bag to check. The company will probably have a meter somewhere, but guess what? It's not going to be for you. That's going to be for somebody else checking for voltage when they're the current person doing QC or they're on commissioning checks. That's who's going to have the meters. So, I would recommend you get your own eventually. A good electrician will have his own meter and will be able to verify that it's dead and such. Now, you do have the right to verify that stuff is dead by the lotto crew and such, but you guys will go about that little procedures on job specifics. Every job will be a little bit different of how they do things, but always ask the questions of how do I know stuff is dead and no voltage is going through it, especially when they go into the commissioning phase and they start turning on such. That's how you know that they're turning stuff on and you're going to be subjected to possible hot wire. And please be careful of temporary wiring that is all ran across the top of the building and inside, overhead. Just be careful. You see spider boxes, that's all live. It's temporary, but people are so complacent on temporary lighting and such. It still have voltage in it. You got to be careful. So, think about getting one of these. You don't have to get it the first week, probably not even the first month or two, but eventually get one. It's going to save your life. I always keep it on me because I don't trust company meters. You don't know who's touched them. You don't know if they're even good. I don't trust those with my life. The next tools we're going to talk about is power tools. This is a M12 compact bandsaw. It can cut up to 1 5/8 strut, 1/2 conduit, 3/4 conduit, 1 you name it. As long as it fits in there, it can cut it. It can be dangerous, but if you're careful, it will easily cut. No problem. Now, out in the field, you guys will probably use a full-size bandsaw, which requires 2 hands to handle. Those are the most common ones out there. You are to be extra careful when using those bandsaws because those are probably the second tool which cut personnel. So please be careful in using these. All right, guys, now I'm going to show you the 1/2 cordless drill. Now, Milwaukee M18. This is a multi-functioning drill, but most guys just use this just for drilling holes in beam or any kind of metal, even going through drywall. You will use these. Now, why do I say multi-functioning? Because it has multi-functioning options on here. You put it on screw mode, you can adjust the torque. Like if you want to use this to put in screws on a switch gear, on the cover plates, or anything of the sort. That is an option. Some guys like to do that, but I just use the impact and just be careful not to strip out the little screws in there because they have the tendency to do that, but I have enough experience where I know how to do them and stop if I feel it's not going in straight or properly. But another function is the hammer drill mode. Now, these are not very good when trying to drill through concrete and making your 1/4 holes with a masonry bit option that these will have available at your stores. But it is great with cinder blocks and it's pretty good with brick. Mostly cinder blocks though, you'll be just fine. This will be adequate. You can probably use this all day. It might drain your battery a bit, but it will work. I've done it before. But as a whole, just use this to go through metal of any kind, drywall, and also occasionally go through a column. Now, these are dangerous because they have the tendency when you're drilling and you go full board and it gets caught on metal, what's it gonna do? It's gonna jolt. I've seen guys get hurt when they're doing that. Or occasionally, what usually happens is their glove, they're trying to hold this steady with their glove, and a lot of times their gloves will get caught with these. I've seen it happen. It's kind of dumb, but your gloves, since they're so thin and they're kind of, see how there's a little bit of play in your gloves? Sometimes these will get caught with them. So please, try to keep your hand as clear away from here as possible. Now, these can change out. You got multiple bits up to 1/2 inch, and a lot of times you can probably have a 5/8 plus bit in here and it'll still fit in the chuck. So get it, and that's it. It's pretty damn good. Of course, you have your batteries here, you check them. This one's almost dead, you don't have to charge it. But as a whole, you're gonna use these a lot. They're Milwaukee's. Companies will usually have these. They're good tools. They're pretty good quality tools. They're great. You'll always see them. Now, when you're drilling though, just please keep in mind, these get hot. You drill them too much, these are the breathing areas where the heat can escape. If you're gonna drill like this, be aware. Try not to cover these. Otherwise, this will overheat, and yes, you can burn these out. You drill these enough, you're gonna hear a little crinkle in there. That's not good. You probably burned it out. And then you gotta tell your foreman, hey, I burned out the drill. Uh-oh. But they'll just get you another one. But just please try not to burn any more out if you accidentally do it. Especially if you're just starting in the trade. They'll have some leniency on you. You don't know. But that's partially why I'm here, to teach you. So anyways, good tool. You'll always have these out there. And please be careful. And do not provide these for yourself. Again, do not provide any power tools. The next power tool I'm going to show you is everybody's favorite, the Impact. These are awesome because they have multi-speeds. They're awesome. Also, you can interchange all these bits and attachments very easily. Multi-functioning. You guys like to use them all the time to fasten. And you see that? Did you hear that click? That is the beauty of these. Is you can attach a drill bit on here, especially where it has this style of attachment and slot. And you can drill with it, and it will never do this on you. It will never jolt like that. That's the cool thing about these. Now, it has limitations, but as a whole, it works pretty well. But most guys like them because they're light, they won't get as hot, and because they're just so convenient to have. Now, they're mainly used for fastening, like I just showed you with that bolt. As a whole, that's what they're for. They're not really designed for drilling, but they can. They have their limitations, though, of course. So, be very careful with these. They are loud, so you might need hearing protection for these, because they can get pretty loud. They can handle pretty good power for fastening and such, but they can't do everything. They make bigger impacts, which can. But this is just basic commercial and light industrial circumstances. That's what these are for. They're great. You'll probably love using them, and they will be out there for a while. Again, don't get these on your own. The company will provide them for you. Well, that's about all the power tools and hand tools that I think you should know for now. There's going to be many advanced ones out there, and you guys will just learn as you go, and another journeyman will probably show you how to use them. And if you don't know how to use it, I must emphasize with you, please find somebody who knows how to use them. Even if you have to ask your foreman, don't be ashamed. It's better to ask than to do, and then you look like a fool that you did not ask. Because I guarantee you, your foreman and your supervisor or whoever sees you doing something will more than appreciate you asking how to do it so you do it right. I will have more videos very shortly. And if you guys have found this video very educational and useful, please hit that subscribe button, give me a like or a comment if I did not cover something that you guys want to know about. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.